Hello everyone, this is Esther. Again, welcome to my YouTube channel, Kenya Explained. Now today I am going to delve into what really is bottom-up approach. This has been the most used word, the most searched word, the most misunderstood or maybe understood word in the recent past, because it was brought up by His Honorable Deputy Sir William Ruto, as a blueprint to his manifesto in the coming elections in the year 2022. That's next year. So first of all, I'd like you to know that we have different approaches to development, and they can be referred to as growth models. And this is my research, and anything that you'd want to talk about with me or ask questions, you can comment in the comment section, ask questions in the comment section, or even call me and we can talk and discuss and really delve into other things that you feel maybe we need to talk about more. So other theories are dependency theory, just to mention a few, core-periphery model of development, and top-down model of development, which we have been using in the recent past in Kenya because it focuses on economic growth rather than development from the bottom, from the grassroots levels. We've been having a kind of development where we are really focused on economic growth and infrastructure, so it comes down and then trickles down to the people. That is top-down approach, and that is what we've been using in the recent past in Kenya. So bottom-up approach it's a theory in development. It's practical, it's tangible, really. This model has been used by a non-governmental organization in Mali, which is known as Well Enhanced Pump Africa. So it's been a success. It has been seen in the repair of water systems, and it has equipped locals with necessary equipment. Bottom-up approach has also been used in South Korea, so you may know. And this model enabled it to develop so fast as an industrial state, because South Korea, when you look at when it got independence, it's developed itself its own, and it's focused on exporting rather than importing. So it focused on its own development, and it did not bother to colonize any other person. It focused on its own development, and it used this model of approach. Now I'm going to mention now the tenets of bottom-up approach. Number one, another thing that you may know, it originated from the 7th special sitting of the United General Assembly in 1975. That means it has been gazetted in the UN Charter, United General Assembly. So that means member states of UN can use this approach, and it has mandate from the UN. So if a state wants to choose this as its model of development, UN has given you the mandate to do so. So the deputy president is okay, is all right. He's using his democratic freedom as someone who wants to be the president of Kenya, and the member states of UN to use the bottom-up approach because it is okay by the UN, just to make everything understandable. And then bottom-up approach emphasizes on these things so that you may understand. It emphasizes on self-reliance. That's why I said South Korea built itself on its own, because it focuses on self-reliance rather than having to have outside people to help you do something or to help in development and everything. It focuses on self-reliance. What do you have on your hands? What do you have as your resources? What do you have as your availabilities? Whatever is available is what we are going to use. Now that is bottom-up approach. Self-reliance, it focuses on internal rather than external forces of change. Brings me back to self-reliance. What do you have? So it focuses on internal. For example, in the model of Kenya as a country, we are not going to need people from outside. We're not going to need non-governmental organizations to help us do things that we can do by ourselves. For example, in the place of agriculture, we're going to use our local resources, manure from the farm, from our farms, because I ask myself, why do we need to import maize when almost every farm in Kenya, almost every compound in Kenya has a small farm growing maize? When almost everyone in Kenya, every single individual, if you go to a mama in Oshago, in Kirinyaga, or in whatever, wherever it is, in Luya land, where I come from, in Luanda constituency, you will find a mama has 1 cow or 2 cows. So she can use her cow to get her milk, to get manure, to get whatever she needs. Now this is self-reliance. This is focusing on internal rather than external. We don't have to import maize. We don't have to import milk. We can use what we have, because Kenya is vast in natural resources. And then bottom up also emphasizes on working with villagers. This is another point that brings to it. It focuses on public participation. That means in every decision made by the government, everyone, even the littlest Wanjiko, the littlest of the littlest Wanjiko, the person on the bottom of the system or the chain, will have to be involved in any kind of decision making. This is another tenet of bottom up. So it insists on working with villagers, and this is what also happened in Mali, where I mentioned they involved the villagers in repairing their water systems. And then bottom up also includes the need for it insists of the need for ecologically sensitivity to meet basic needs. Ecological sensitivity, what does that mean? It means be aware of your environment. Be aware of your environment. Do not litter your environment, because if you litter your environment, then the soil is going to be poor. The soil will never be fertile enough to grow the things we need. Because even if we are supposed to import, if we're supposed to export, for example, if you're supposed to export avocados, they have a standardization by, for example, the UK market. There's a standardization of those avocados that is supposed to be exported. So if we do not take care of your environment, if you think it's someone else's responsibility to take care of the environment, then maybe bottom up is not for you. And I think bottom up is a good thing, because if we get to a point where we're talking about being ecologically sensitive, then we are moving on the right track. Because how many roads in Kenya are littered? How many places, even around our places, we find litter, we find dump areas. You know, these same dump areas are the same things that are coming to bring to us malaria, cholera, typhoid. But if we stay in a clean environment, then who is going to be sick? Our waters are going to be clean, our food is going to be clean, whatever our environment is going to be we'll have enough oxygen for us to take in, and we're going to breathe in clean air. That's another tenet of bottom-up approach. And then I said it insisted on the importance of public participation. Yes. So those are some of the tenets of the bottom-up approach. If you have more, then I'll be glad to discuss with you more of that. And then something else to note also is that bottom-up approach has been noted to be long-term and self-sustainable. So it's something that can be started, and once self-sustainability means that, in fact, when you're making any project or making any plan, you're supposed to look at the sustainability, because you can't just start something today and it can be used in only 10 years. No, you start something that can also be used in 100 years to come. Because now if we start the bottom-up approach right now, it means our generations and other generations are going to use this approach. So it's long-term and self-sustainable. It has positive impact on many locals. Who does not want that? Who does not want to empower our mamas in the village? Who does not want to empower our wazes in the village? Who does not want to empower people, empower the locals? Because sisi ndio tunaumia, sisi ndio tuna feel hii, whatever happens huku juu, sisi ndio tuna feel. Decisions zingi zinakuwa made huku kwa offices, ni sisi ndio tunakuja tunasema mbona bei ya unga imefika 120 shillings. Unga Kenya inafaa ikuwe 70-80 shillings because we can produce our own maize. So it empowers our locals. And if we get to a point where everyone can speak the way I'm speaking, then we're going to have a good Kenya, don't you think so? And then it focuses on essential basic living standards. That's what I'm saying. If everyone is empowered, then everyone will have access to water, everyone will have access to food, everyone will have access to clothing, everyone will have access to health, to housing. You see, if we focus on this bottom approach, and if our proponents in bottom up approach are going to be serious about it, then I think we can have a good Kenya where there'll be reduced there'll be reduced number of children living in the streets, there'll be reduced number of poverty levels, poverty eradication, and infant mortality. Yes, and then it also breaks the cycle of poverty. That is what every Kenyan wants. We want to get away. We want to get away with hustler. We want to get away with dynasty. That is enough games. That is enough games. Can we just get to a point where we can cooperate, where when I meet the next person, I'm not looking at them as hustler dynasty. No, we are all Kenyans and we are united by blood. So let's come together. This another tenant, it has been noted that it's going to break the cycle of poverty. That means when you're meeting the next person, you're not looking at what they earn, what they do. You're looking at what are they bringing to the table. If it's value, then it's good for nation building. And another thing, it also closes the development gap. Now, right now, I can say there's a huge gap between the rich and the poor. And someone once said that the rich always continue getting rich and the poor always continue getting poor. Now, we need to close this gap. Can we get to a place where we cooperate, that even people who cannot sit in these big offices or people who do not have a say can finally have a say with people who are there, or people who are considered to be up there, because it closes the development gap. So if this bottom-up approach, if the proponents are very serious about it, then I think it's time for change. And in my previous YouTube video, I had said that it's high time we changed our approach, because in my research, I noted that many less developed states continue to focus on economic growth, trying to develop the country from a top-down approach, hence the need of national government organizations, NGOs. So this was the top-down approach. So at the beginning I had said that we use the top-down approach. We've been using the top-down approach, but now really it's time for change, because it is only a madman who does the same thing every other time and expects different results. Really, it is time for change. And I just want to voice my opinion and say the person who is bringing up and the proponents and the supporters of bottom-up approach, let's be serious about it. Let's be serious about it. Let's prove, let's put facts to the table, let's put brains to the table and see that this thing can go through and can bring a better Kenya. Because at my point, at Wanjiku's point of view, what I want is for change in Kenya. What I want is for access to basic needs, because there are people who are not even access to basic needs: food, clothes, shelter. No, not everyone has access to these things. So as much as you want to bring all the politics into it and play games into it, kuna watu wanaumia. And now let's be serious and put this to the table and help those that are disadvantaged in our society also. So I found out one disadvantage of this approach is that it may take a long time to implement. Yeah, it may take a long time to implement, so that's one disadvantage. And then it's very technical to apply this on a national or global scale in an already structured scale like Kenya. So these are some of the disadvantages I found on the bottom-up approach. And so yeah, that's self-explanatory. And yes, until my next video, don't forget to like, subscribe and share. And please, let's talk out these issues, because if we don't talk about these issues, then who is going to talk about them? So until next time, stay safe and adios. Now, my good people, we are staying in peace, love and unity. Now this is space. Look at all this space. Wow. All this space. 1,000 square foot for 45,000 shillings, located in Vihiga County, Mbale Town, Dawn Towers. That is 5th floor. This is the 5th floor. This is the 6th floor. We have a client here. He partitioned his space. So if you want to, you can also partition your space to whatever amount of space you need. We can always negotiate. And then this is located just here. There's also the 6th floor up there. And now you see, you can have your views from here, depending on whatever you'd want. You can want to put your studio here. You have natural lighting. This side there, we have natural lighting also here. And whatever you'd want to do, really, you can call me on my number, 0791 641 970, or you can call 0722 610 209 to get this space and live in peace, love.